Hello everyone. As you've already seen in the caption, today's topic is about the discussion on the rules changed by immigration of Finland for students coming from non-EU countries. This is going to be a very important video because since April 15 when rules have changed, people are a bit confused about how these rules are affecting their personal application. So we're going to discuss this one by one on all the changes. The first change which comes is that students can work 30 hours a week. How much it was allowed in the past? It was 25 hours a week. And so it becomes 30 hours a week, which means that you are now eligible to work more number of hours per week, which means you can draw more salary. So this is a good news for students. But you have to be also cautious about one thing. In the old rule, you were allowed to work part-time 25 hours and full-time during holidays of summer break and the winter break. Now, in the new rule, you do not have any provision for full-time, neither for summer, neither for winter break, which means that international students, non-EU students, are not allowed to work full-time. Instead, this 30 hours thing, if you compensate it, 5 hours additionally they're giving you every week. If you calculate it in the entire year, your average earning becomes the similar which you do it in the full-time hour also. So student, this is the difference between the old rule and the new rule in terms of part-time working hours only. Next thing, some students are saying that now we are allowed to bring spouse and dependent children to Finland. Please note, in the old rule also you were allowed, in the new rule also you are allowed. There is no difference. You can bring your spouse and your children for your higher education when you come to Finland for higher education, but you make sure that you have to show living expenses for all three of you. Let's suppose it's the applicant, it's the spouse, and it's one child. If I assume, you have to show living expenses for all three of them for 1 year living only. Okay, that's just how it has to be. Next thing, third point, which is going to be post-study work visa. In the old rule, Finland was giving you 1 year stay-back option to find your job. Whereas now, Finland will give you a 2-year stay-back option to find a job, which is the highest amount of time within the Northern Europe. Let's come to the fourth and the most important point. When we go abroad for higher education, permanent residency is one of the very key factors which people look at. So in Finland, earlier in the old rule, you were getting B category resident permit, temporary resident permit, which was not leading to PR. So the number of years you spent in the education year was under only temporary residency. And that 4 years of your stay for PR doesn't contribute to that. But in the new rule, you will be getting a A-type resident permit, which means if you have A-type resident permit for 4 to 5 years, you can apply for your permanent residency in Finland. So example, a student is going for a 3.5 year of bachelor's, they will have 3.5 year of A permit, which is contribution towards the PR years. And let's suppose say within the next 1.5 year, you do masters or you do your job seeker visa as well under the A category, you are eligible for a permanent residency. So in short, when you finish your education plus your job seeker visa, and if you have a job in Finland, you will automatically qualify for permanent residency. So this is the difference between the A category and the B category. A category leads to permanent residency and B category leads to not a permanent residency. Also, one thing to note, if you are coming to Finland on a university degree or a University of Applied Sciences, only then you will get A category permit. If you are coming to a folk high school or a vocational school for any other program, you will not be getting an A permit, you will be getting a B permit only. Now the fifth thing and the last thing before we close up. Why is Finland actually doing all these changes in their immigration policy? The reason is they are very highly short on skilled labor. In 5 years back, I have going to put you a link in the description. There was an article published in the very prominent newspaper where the Finland foreign minister said 50% of the IT workforce of Finland come from India. And that's where they changed the work permit duration, visa duration time to only 15 days because there was a huge crunch in Finland in technology domain. Now this crunch is not only in technology domain, it is the entire Finland where you see a skilled labor shortage. And the best way to fill the shortage is to bring international students, train them in the country on the standards and the quality of work which the Finnish companies wanted, and then retain them. So opening the doors to international students with a tuition fee was the first step. Second step is to change the rules of Finland immigration so that you can retain the talent within the country, because it's a good country to live in. We all know that. But if you do not get a permanent residency, you will not be able to stay in the country. So this is where the Finland immigration has given a very smart move, that they are trying to bring students from international countries all over the world, and they are trying to teach them and retain them within their own country. Keep watching. I'm coming up with the next video.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.